Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Yes, I am angry, and that's why today no video with a lot of pictures, edits, front pages and these kind of things. Today we'll speak about a clear vision. Two topics with the same name, clear vision. First one, the press conference of Massimiliano Allegri, because we need to have, and he has clear ideas of the game of tomorrow versus Cagliari. And the second one, and that will be the second part of the video, clear ideas about the future and especially about Mercato. Do you remember the words of John Elkann? Time and resources. These resources, we will need to have clear ideas because we can't go on the market and buy whatever player that is free, like a Rabiot, like a Ramsey, but this time we'll have to have clear ideas to build a great Juventus. If you want to have all the names, because they are speaking about 50 different names linked to Juventus, if you want to dream with Anthony, with Salah, with Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, Raspadori and so on, guys, I recommend you because everything is done fantastically well on the app of OneFootball. Download OneFootball, it is in the description. You will see all the different reports, all the different names. It is for free for iOS and for Android, so I recommend you. You have the QR code here, you have the link into the description, go for it, it is for free and you will have a complete picture, because today we'll not go through all the different names but about clear vision. We start immediately after the intro. Before going into the press conference, I want to say why Allegri was upset and why especially I am upset. Because whatever the man is saying, we are angry. We found a way to manipulate every single word the man is saying just to bash him. And this is not acceptable. This makes me really angry. We are fighting for a fourth spot. That's what we have to do, because otherwise it will be a disaster if we don't go into that fourth spot. Every time you open social media, whatever the man is saying, you see negativity around the team. You're reading some Mercato reports and there is negativity around Allegri. He's speaking about maturity, what is absolutely correct. A man of 28 has not the same maturity as a man of 20, and we are manipulating the words of Allegri. Whatever the guy is saying, there is always criticism. Can we please stop and try to think objectively instead of going towards our own ideas? That's the first one thing I want to say, especially now, 7 games in Serie A to go into the top 4, because if we don't go, guys, I will tell you, the Mercato will not be really great. Next season will not be really great. So focus on the important things, and the important things is first of all the game of tomorrow versus Cagliari. I will tell you the words of Allegri and when he started to be upset. First of all, his face was not happy at all. Not happy at all, of course, because we lost versus Inter, but also because of all the things that he's reading. Because he's reading, he knows what they are saying about him, and especially about Juventus. I see so much negativity. He started saying that tomorrow the game versus Cagliari is crucial one. No excuses anymore. Not, yes, we tried. No, tomorrow we have to win. Clear words of Mr. Allegri. Tomorrow we have to win, because if we don't win, guys, Roma, that is at the moment at -5, they can potentially go at -2. -2 with 6 games to play in Serie A, and 6 games are a lot of games. So we can't allow tomorrow. We play well, we play bad, we have to win. He said it clearly. Tomorrow the game versus Cagliari is difficult because they come from a really difficult moment. They lost like 4 or 5 games in a row. They lost 5-2 versus Udinese. When you're losing 5-2 versus a team, guys, you have a sense of pride. You want to do something, especially when you are facing at home Juventus, and that's why the game is really dangerous tomorrow. When we are coming from a game where we received a lot of compliments because of the way we played, like versus Inter, but instead of dreaming about the Scudetto, you had to say goodbye. You did a really beautiful performance, but you had to say goodbye to your dream of Scudetto. Then it's really dangerous to play versus Cagliari. It is, not only because of Cagliari, but especially because our mental strength, the mental strength of the players that will have to fight for a top 4. Is Juventus used to play for top 4? Not at all. We did it last season and we had to say thank you to Napoli that did 1-1 versus Verona. Will we have the strength to do it? Guys, tomorrow is an important game, especially because they are announcing a lot of wind tomorrow in Cagliari, and we know that in that stadium, when there is a lot of wind, guys, the ball, we can't even predict where it will go. So pay attention to the meteo tomorrow. That will be really important. We need to do much better, not only the way we play, but especially winning and scoring, something that we are lacking at the moment. And then he started to be really angry, Mr. Allegri. Why? Because he said, I am annoyed. I start to be annoyed of all the compliments of the game of Inter. I start also to be really annoyed because if we start with these kind of words versus our team, if we start to speak really bad versus our team will start to find some alibis. Alibis because of this, alibis because of that, because of this, because of that. No, there is only one thing that is important at Juventus, and it is victories. These were the words of Massimiliano Allegri. No alibi, no compliments, only one thing. Victory, victory, victory. That's what Juventus has to do. And then I want to say something, and we are in the second part of the video, about the future, the Mercato, because in these last days, and I am for probably the first one that is guilty, we spoke so much about Mercato. Mercato is crazy. Of course, Mercato is crazy, but we have to understand that this time we will have a clear vision. And what makes me really happy is that yesterday there was a meeting at La Continassa between Allegri and the management. Allegri was involved to know where they have to pick the players, to know which player will be important for next season. I don't care it will be a 4-3-3. I don't care it will be a 4-2-3-1, a 3-5-2, a 4-4-2, whatever words, whatever lineups you want to go for. But one thing is important, clear ideas to have the right players. And if you are reading some words about calciomercato.it that are saying, but Juventus, they will try to give Gatti, the defender of Serie B that we already bought, to Roma for Cristante, I can tell you one thing, you will read a lot of bullshit in the coming days, in the coming weeks. Did you already realize that we had already 50, 60, 70 names? Of course, Juventus will go for a few of them. Juventus important is not to be distracted by all these voices, not be distracted by players, by the fans that want Salah over Zaniolo. Of course, I want Salah over Zaniolo, but they have to go for a clear vision, a clear mind, and that's what Juventus is having also thanks to the meeting of yesterday, because the top priority is finally, thank you, a left back. Juventus, they understood, they realized that Alexandro was not at the level of Juventus. And there is not even in the last years, there was not even an alternative to Alexandro that was alone. The last time there was an alternative to Alexandro, it was Spinazzola, and Spinazzola was injured for 90% of the season. In this 10%, he was actually in competition with Alexandro, and he lost his spot. Now, Juventus will go with a left back. The name, I don't know about the name. I don't know which player will replace Alexandro. I don't even know if Alexandro will be sold, if there is a possibility to sell him, if a team will be interested in Alexandro. But I know one thing, left back is a priority to and for Juventus. The second clear point of Juventus is a midfielder, and not any midfielder, not just a midfielder, not a free midfielder. No, they will go with a midfielder with characteristics. And what are these skills that Allegri is asking? He wants a physical midfielder that has the goals in his legs. The goals in his legs, because that's what we are lacking. We are lacking some goals, the goals of Vidal, the goals of Pogba, the goals of Marchisio, the goals of Pirlo that was able to score also on free kicks. That's what we are missing. And when I hear midfielder, physical, but also with some goals in the legs, guys, I only think about a top midfielder. I don't know the name. I don't know if we will have that Serbian connection with Vlahovic and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic and maybe even Milenkovic. I don't know the names, but I know one thing. A midfielder that is able also to score is a top midfielder. In Juventus, I don't know, regista or a box-to-box player, I don't know, I don't have the answer today, but a top midfielder, yes, I know. And then pay attention, because without even that top midfielder, at the 1st of June or July, whatever, when the Mercato will be open, we will have 9 midfielders, guys. We will have 9 midfielders. Juventus will have to take some decisions. Why? Because we will have Arthur, Zaccaria, Locatelli, McKennie, Rabiot, Ramsey that will come back, Fagioli, Rovella, even maybe Miretti. Guys, that's a lot of midfielder for 2 or 3 spots, starting spots. Juventus will have to make some big decision, and a lot of you will not be happy, because some of you, they love McKennie, and maybe McKennie will be sold. Maybe some of you doesn't like McKennie, maybe McKennie will stay at Juventus. What about Fagioli? What about Ravella? What about Miretti? Some of them will be sold, some of them will go on loan. Not everyone will be happy, and I understand that, but one thing is important, is that Juventus has clear ideas. Clear ideas also for the replacement of Dybala. We will never go for a one-on-one replacement, but in terms of team, if one player is leaving, Dybala, you will have to replace him. Are we going to look for a player that is able to play in a 4-3-3? Are we looking for an offensive player that is able to play at a 4-2-3-1? I don't know. Maybe Raspadori is the solution, because he can play in both spots. He can play in a 4-3-3 on the left, or he can play in a 4-2-3-1 as a number 10. Is Raspadori the answer? I don't know. One thing is sure, Juventus will go with a clear mind, a clear idea. Do you remember when we were speaking about last summer, we went for Ken? Why? Because the time was not enough. Carnevali, sporting director of Sassuolo, he said it clearly. Juventus, they asked already last season for Raspadori, and that, what does that mean? That Raspadori will not be the one-on-one replacement of Dybala. It will be a replacement probably for Moise Kean in that 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. I don't know. Let's see. Clear ideas. Left back, top midfielder with goals, also deciding who will have to leave in that midfield, because we have too many players that the fans will be happy or not. We don't know. And then someone really great offensively. 3 big players, and probably also a center back that we also need. Clear ideas for a Juventus that needs to win tomorrow versus Cagliari, because if we are not able to win, if we are not able to go in that top 4, guys, forget about the clear ideas instead of clear great ideas instead of clear mediocre idea, because you will have to adapt. So tomorrow we go for the win in a difficult game like Cagliari, because it will be a difficult game. I know people will tell you, but Cagliari, they lost all their games. Yes, it's true, but it will be a difficult one. We have to win one, and then think about the rest of the Mercato, aligned between Allegri and the management. Time, we already had a lot of time this season to understand. Now the resource, big plan for next season. Thank you, grazie, forza, Juve.